Okay.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another stream here at World of Tanks. How are you doing, Mr. Bam?
Wonderful. Things are heating up. I'm seeing the flames in the chat as well. The Flames of War season is kicking off really strongly here, and we are continuing on bringing the fire, right?
Absolutely.
We have a very bloated stream today. Apologies for a bit of a late start. We're still arranging a lot of our content and assets. Like I said, there's a lot to cover today. Things that are going on this week, lots of updates, news, and awesome things coming to the game as soon as next week. Lots to cover today, Tankz0rz.
Yeah,
Lots to go through.
It's going to be fun.
Well, let's go ahead and get started into it because we have a lot to cover here. Let's talk about what came out this week, what's going on this weekend, etc. I know everyone's wondering, Flames of War season, like, where's the Flamethrower tanks? We will be talking about that today, and there will be a lot of giveaways as well. Stay tuned. Lots to cover today. Let's talk about our newly released Cold War Era 3, the ATGM only tank, Jaguar 1, that came out just this past Tuesday, part of the Western Alliance Era 3. Hopefully you guys all had a chance to check that one out a little bit, or at least see it in combat. Here we go, have it on screen now. This is a tank hunter with a sleek, low-profile hull, giving it excellent stealth and concealment to blend in with its environment. Great mobility with the ability to drive forwards and backwards at the same top speed, so allowing you guys to get out of the mix as quickly as possible. I would very strongly suggest play this very much like a sniper. Play it from a distance. Weasels may have better opportunity to get in close to your opponents and, weasel their way out of trouble. The Jaguar will work at its best from a distance and utilize your surroundings to the best that you can muster. So the Jaguar 1 just came out this week. We also have an on-track, also Cold War focused, my favorite personal tank, M1A2 Abrams. If this is a line that you are still grinding up toward, the whole line of the Abrams will be on discount, allowing you to earn a little bit extra XP and purchase those tanks at a discounted silver price. Then we mentioned this before, we are into our 25th year anniversary as Wargaming. We have our week 2 of anniversary sales. This includes the Kuhn's Panzer and the T-22 medium that is in our in-game store now, plus some tanks for free XP that you can find in the premium tech tree. For any of those of you that might be sitting on a good bankment of free XP and need a tank to spend that on. 50% discounts on various commanders, also available in the commander reel, as well as commander skill respec. And then a tank to free XP conversion. 1 gold will now net you 35 free XP. New contracts, the FV 1066 Senlek contract has also started this week. And last but not least, we did wrap up our control mode for World War II testing last weekend. Hopefully you guys had a chance to try that out. If you did miss it, no worries. This weekend, started today, this morning, we do have Cold War Era 2 control mode now live into the game for you guys to try it out. We shook up the map rotation a little bit from our previous beta test. Prior, it was, now it's Nabelberg, Serene Coast, Overlord, and Airfield into the mix. You can jump into and try out control mode yourself. You should see in the game modes menu on login the control mode beta. Check it out. We are looking for feedback. We are monitoring data. I think next week I'll try to come to the table once again, give you guys a little bit of data comparisons of how the World War II and the Cold War mode kind of shaped up, what kind of changed, and what did we see different versus when we ran the beta test last season. As part of this season, we did update the control mode for a few reasons based on community feedback. You should now experience slightly longer match durations. This was direct feedback from Super Test as well as the community. On average, prior in Cold War mode at least, was between 5 and 6 minutes, a little bit on the low end. Now you should expect to see hopefully between 7 and 8 minutes. But again, we'll share that data in the future. So yes, please check it out. It will be running through the weekend. and let us know what you guys think of our control mode. And we will run one more control mode beta test later in September. We will showcase the dates and criteria later down the line. As the Flames of War season suggests, Flamethrowers, I know you guys been wondering what tanks are coming out, what are these mechanics like? These questions have been coming left and right. Yesterday, we did release our developer diary article that talks all about this new feature in the game itself. And happy to say they are due to release this next Tuesday. We will have our very first premium offering, the Churchill Oki, our Tier 5 British heavy premium that is getting the Flamethrower treatment. And as hinted last week, for those of you that already climbed up your way through the Czechoslovakia tech tree line, hopefully you guys had a chance to unlock the TVP VTU concept. Yes, this tech tree tank is also going to be receiving a Flamethrower secondary weapon upgrade to the tank itself starting on Tuesday. Both of the tanks, the Churchill Oki and the TVP VTU concept, work in very similar ways. They both have the flamethrowers attached directly to their hull, not to the turret, so you won't be able to have direct 360 rotation easily from the turret aim. But it does utilize, like I said, our kind of multi-turret secondary weapon system to allow you to rapidly switch between your primary gun to your flamethrower as you see fit. And I think we may have a trailer to showcase showing off the Churchill Oki in action. Do we have that ready to roll there, Tankz0rz?
Let's take a look.
There we have it. There we have it. Bringing the heat into battle. Brett Watcher, Churchill, bringing the heat to battle. Agreed, sir. Let's do our first giveaway of the stream here, and this will not be the last giveaway. Let's run the giveaway link. Chance for 2 lucky winners to receive Churchill Okies.
Alrighty, here you go.
We'll announce those winners shortly. In addition, we didn't want to just briefly talk about the flamethrowers and show off just a trailer. Tankz0rz and I thought this would also be a great opportunity to showcase and go a little bit more in depth, provide a flamethrower live demonstration on an internal build to showcase you guys how exactly, how exactly do these mechanics work? Show, do not tell. So, Tankz0rz, your call. Are we ready to switch on over to our in-game view here?
We are live and ready.
Live and ready. Here we go. So currently we are looking at, again, this is the tech tree version, the Tier 8 TVP VTU medium tank, now equipped with the secondary weapon flamethrower shells. You can see it comes with a total capacity of 800 flame shells as indicated in the bottom there. It does have clips, so you don't get to spend the flames all in a single shot. And we'll kind of demonstrate that a little bit here on screen. Oh, wait, you know what? I realize my audio is down. Okay, hopefully the audio is coming through for you guys now.
We hear it.
We hear it. All right, so here's our stream tech for the flamethrowers. This is very different than how we have handled, say, the Halloween tanks. And for those of you that might recall our Centennial event where we ran the Mark I tanks in a small battle on Featful Ridge with the flamethrowers. Those were very much simulated flamethrowers by firing a great deal number of shells at your targets. This time around, he implemented a new solution to doing flamethrowers that seem and feel more accurate to historical battles, which is actually a hose flamethrowers that you fire at a limited range. You can see it does come with a brand new camera reticle as well that we applied. And then let's talk a little bit about that range. We have 2 targets out here in the field that we're taking a look at here. First off here being the brand new Churchill Oki. And then we have an open-topped artillery, one of my favorites, the GWE 100. We'll talk about that one in just a second here. But I mentioned previously that the flamethrowers come with a limited range. So they are very much treat it very situational. You guys will have to get in close to your targets if you wish to deal any reasonable amount of damage. So if I back up here just a little bit, 120 meters. Oops, my into some fencing here. 140 meters, 150 meters, 160. Getting behind some bushes here, running over cars. Let's fix this angle. So the TVP VTU concept here. I picked a bad position. This tank has a range of 177 meters. So not too terribly short, but also not very long. Still requires you to get relatively close to your targets. So we'll go ahead and kind of hose this target down just a little bit. And you can see he's taking just minimal damage, 14, 16 damage per hit here. We call this is one of our new mechanics that we added into the game known as external fire. It deals damage over time, but not to be mistaken with an internal fire. An internal fire is what you guys know as the your tanks being lit on fire in the game as it is currently. That is the engine fire, very crippling. It breaks a lot of your modules, your crew members get injured or knocked out. Our external fire mechanic deals little damage over time. It does break the optics of the target tank that you are firing on, as you can see showcased on the HUD here. And it does have a chance of starting an internal fire. You can see the engine module is also damaged on the Oki here, just a little bit. Now, I'm just firing a little at a time at this tank, and you can see that it is dealing, it's got a little bit lower, it does arc a little bit. So if I fire just a little bit, you can see it deals like maybe just a few points of damage. But if I was to hose, let's get a full clip here and demonstrate this. In fact, I'll get a little bit closer. All right. If you continue to torch your target for a longer duration, that damage over time number will continue to build over. Oh, and I think, yeah, we actually did ignite an internal engine fire onto this tank, as you can see on the HUD indicator. So that chance is completely possible. So it did receive a normal fire at the same time. Because of this, because we know and understand, there it goes. Because we realize the flamethrower mechanic has the potential to keep targets lit hard for in a close quarter combat situation for you to get out of the heat of the flames, we did add a new mechanic to the extinguisher consumable. Unfortunately, I won't be able to showcase this on stream because I destroyed the Churchill Oki who was going to fire back on me. However, the consumable will now, when activated, prevent yourself from external and or internal fire for a total of 10 seconds. So this is also an additional buff for if you want to prevent an internal fire for a period of time, it can help you protect yourself against that. Lastly, let's talk about open-topped vehicles. Like I said, we have this poor Artie sitting here. Open-topped vehicles. Let's be quite honest what's going on here. This tank has open casings here where this is the crew members would be technically exposed to any sort of damage and flames that may be in contact with the tank. So because of this, we also developed a new system with the flamethrower mechanics. Any open-topped vehicle, mostly a lot of artillery and TDs, they will receive additional damage when hosed by flamethrowers, as well as crippling damage to the crew members as well. So we don't have a crew status that indicates on cut, of course, but artillery is receiving a very similar effect as to what an internal fire would be applying onto this tank. And you can see that a lot of its modules are also starting to damage. So if you're going up against a flamethrower tank, do your best to keep them at a distance. They will be very potent and quite the firepower on the battlefield in close quarter combat. Again, this is for open-topped vehicles. As you have seen with the closed-top Churchill Oki, that was simply the case. And yes, look forward to these flamethrower tanks coming to you guys this Tuesday. TVP VTU getting the upgrade, and the Churchill Oki premium tank coming to you this Tuesday. I think we're good to switch on back here, Tankz0rz. Let me drop down my volume just so you guys don't hear the match ongoing potentially.
Sounds great. Excellent. I saw someone earlier ask, what was the giveaway for?
The giveaway was for 2 Churchill Okis. I'm sorry, it's for the Churchill Oki to 2 lucky winners. On that note, let's announce who is receiving these Churchill Okis, Tankz0rz.
Alrighty. On that note, let's choose a winner here. Boom, boom, downloading. And our lucky winner is the Big Yin Cali. Congratulations. And Peace Duke.
Peace Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Congratulations to you both. You will be receiving the new Churchill Oki. All right. So that's what we have coming next week for the flamethrowers, and that's what we have going on this week and weekend. Tankz0rz, I always wanted to ask you.
Yo, what's up?
You have such a great, deep voice. Have you ever thought about becoming a lead singer in a band? Or do you think of yourself as more of a guitarist or bassist?
I could be a guitarist. I can't sing and play guitar at the same time. It's my...
You can't sing?
No. So it's one or the other. You want me to sing or you want me to play?
What do you think, chat? Should he be a lead singer? Tankz0rz, I think you could become a lead singer with that voice.
Why don't we take it to the center stage and find out?
Let's go. Sabaton, baby.
It's back.
They are back making their glorious return in appropriate heavy metal fashion. We welcome Sabaton as part of our Flames of War season Metal Fest event. I see a lot of excitement in the chat, and yes, coming to Modern Armor for the very first time, the Spirit of War, Sturv K, is on its way here. Sabaton tank, the Swedish Tier 9 heavy, and we did add, in fact, here we have it on screen, special VFX to the armor as well as the exhaust vents to give it a unique look that can be seen in garage as well as in battle. As a matter of fact, I saw a few people mentioning this in the chat itself. The music! Get the music in game. We would love to hear it in battle. Happy to say that when the tank is selected in garage, yes, Steel Commanders, you just heard it on that video, by Sabaton, will start playing in the background, replacing the normal music and sound effects in the garage itself. In fact, let's do one more live demonstration, Tankz0rz. Are we ready to swap on over here?
Absolutely. Let's take a look. Awesome, awesome.
Fantastic. The audio is playing, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Coming this Tuesday, guys. Thick frontal turret armor allows it to hold up against many incoming rounds. And has excels in hold down position. Good general mobility with solid firepower. Also taking part in our Metal Fest event, you can also earn the Primo Victoria. This is our older Sabaton tank and collab that we had with them years back, the Tier 8 Swedish medium. We know a lot of you have been asking for the return of the Primo Victoria. Happy to say it will be coming back, and you can earn and unlock this tank for yourselves in our Metal Fest event. Here we have it on screen now. But that is not all. This Metal Fest is just getting kicked off. The heat is turning up. The puns can go on forever here. In the store for Sabaton, you'll also find both old familiar as well as new 2D commanders. We have our returning set of Sabaton 2D commanders that are very beloved, and it's been a while since we last had them available in game, I do believe, as well as a new set of 2D commanders of Sabaton, plus lead singer Joachim Broden himself with custom voiceover. Here we have them on screen now.
These are the originals, and here are the new. So they will both be available. They look great.
Fantastic. Okay, we were talking about giveaways. Yes, we have more giveaways. Sabaton, hopefully there's a lot of metal fans out there and some Sabaton fans. Let's run another giveaway here. 5 lucky winners can receive codes. These are not in-game codes. These are merch store codes at the official Sabaton website. Store credit, 50 euros, where you can purchase any sort of clothing, apparel, accessories, and of course, albums from Sabaton themselves. I don't know if we want to provide the link directly to their merch store to bring a little bit of awareness and get some hype and excitement. Here we go. Thank you, WoT Console.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out, guys. And then let's run another giveaway. We'll announce all these winners at once toward the end of the stream here.
All right.
One more giveaway on the heels of the unveiling of the Spirit of War tank here. 2 lucky winners who can also receive the new Spirit of War Stir of K tank, Sabaton tank.
Awesome. So it's 2 winners for the new Sabaton tank, Spirit of War, and then 5 lucky winners get the codes for the store for the merchandise, right?
Correct.
Awesome.
And yes, Mr. SVG, thank you. You only need enter once.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and click on the link, enter your Wargaming ID, and you'll be eligible for our giveaways.
All right. Okay, I'm sweating over here. I'm like literally sweating. It's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement around these things. I was actually listening to that music video back to back during my lunch break here, just kind of getting ready for the stream here.
Getting all pumped up there.
Getting all pumped up.
I think I had the volume a little low when you were showing off the tank in the garage with the music. I don't know if you want to click on it again. Should
we show it one more time?
Yeah,
I can also turn up my volume.
No, you're fine. I had the volume lower.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I cranked up too high. Let me bring it back down. All right, ready when you are. Fantastic. That is headbanging material right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Yes, Metal Fest is coming to Flames of War season. Look forward to it next week. A lot of great content, and very happy to have our collaboration with Sabaton once more. But that's not all. Too early to say what more might be coming. Metal Fest has a lot of more future surprises. More on that. Maybe we'll debut and talk about that in future streams. But look forward to our Sabaton offerings next week. So also next week, our anniversary continues. We are in week 3 for our 25-year Wargaming anniversary. So in store, we will have some offerings, including the Lorraine AMX M4 and the Tehran in store. As well as more additional tanks for free XP. This is something that we rotate out over time, week over week, so please check it out, see what might be new coming in there. And of course, more free XP conversion sales are also ongoing. And that's all the content, updates, news, hotness coming out next week. Let's shift on over to our battle feats of the week.
Well, let's take a look. Here we go.
All right, everybody. Up first in the Project Marat here, we have Royal Eagle as well as Super Bono. Max kills dealt in a single battle of 11. Fantastic. Alex Costales with max damage in a single battle of 12,243. And then we have X Skull Hades X with max combined assisted damage in a single battle, 12,070. Fantastic. And then we have up next in the Object 292, Kami Fujin 5 in a single battle, dealing 22,419 max damage. Fantastic. Then we have Jimmy H72, max combined assist damage of 13,309 in a single battle. And nobody knows I'm a dog. That's hilarious.
I like that.
Max blocked damage, 7,630, also in a single battle. And lastly,
we have Yaku's with max XP in a single battle of 2,513.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have a couple metal showcases here. The Kolobanov, which is a medal awarded to a player who can stand alone against 5 or more enemy tanks and win. as well as the Fodden's medal awarded to destroying the last enemy vehicle in a battle with your last remaining shell. The Kalabanov medal was earned in their Project Morant by Tsunami Rex 5068, Wiza 4, Phil Cheesesteak, Airstorm, Heathcliff, Alex Costalis, he was just up in the other showcase, and M4 Lar. Congratulations to you guys. And then the Fodden medal was earned by Team 367 Hungary, also in the Project Marat, just in the past 2 weeks. And to wrap up our showcase and battle feats here, our milestones, of course. These are our individuals who've made hit that threshold of 100,000 or more battles. Up first, we have Alfax002 hitting that 100,000th battle threshold. At 110,000 battles, we have Winded Nickel 18 and Exact 2500 hitting that 110. At 120K battles, Chromax 1991. At 130K battles, William 4017. And lastly, an astounding 140K battles, Garnapero. Congratulations, and thank you for sticking around. What is it we say, Tankz0rz?
That's a lot of battles. So
that's
congratulations to all of you, especially 140,000. That's a lot.
Okay, how about before we dive into our Q&As here, we have 2 sets of giveaways going on right now. Tankz0rz, can we announce our 5 winners who's going to be receiving these Sabaton store codes?
Sure thing. Well, let's go ahead and pick some winners here. Alrighty. And our winners are... Let's take a look here. Svelte Conchi 19. Congratulations.
Svelte. Congratulations.
Baked 1 Dean. Hockey Tank 3470. Almighty Lou. And Cryosense.
Is that Pyro or Cryosense?
Cryosense.
Cryosense.
Yep.
Wonderful. So heads up, T-Kane, our senior community manager, will be the one to get those emails and send them out. I'm sorry, get those gamer tags of our winners. He will send an email to them with said store codes for the Sabaton merchandise site.
Yep. So if you just called your name, keep an eye out on your email. Those will be sent out.
But stick around. We're going to dive into Q&As here in just a moment here. We still have the active giveaway for the Spirit of War tank that will be going to 2 lucky winners. We'll make a call out and shout out to those winners toward the end of our stream today.
Alrighty, Q&A time.
I am ready when you are.
All right, starting off with our first question here. What is the overall 3 favorite tanks from your dev and art team and marketing team from tier 8 to tier 10?
So I wanted to point this one out. I did pluck this from the selection because this was a kind of a round 2 that this question came up into the Q&As. What is our favorite tanks between tiers 8 through 10? Wanted to preface this. I'm working on a poll, and we're going to share this around the studio of the various departments. And maybe by next stream, I will aim for next stream. We can give you guys a definitive answer of a lot of our favorite tanks in the game, not only just the tier 8, 9, and 10, but I think we're also going to ask and see what everyone's favorites of the Cold War eras are as well. So thank you for the suggestion and the question. We will come back to that one next week once we got the poll kind of written up and a good quantity of developers filling it out.
Next question here. It's great that we have 2 new maps introduced here on console, Navalburg and Rudenburg. Is it possible to change the rotation timing so that the 2 maps aren't showing up every 3rd or 4th game?
So this was, in fact, brought to our attention just this past week that, yes, Rudenburg, our returning map part of the Flames of War season, is, yes, appearing in very high frequency in rotation. Our initial goal months ago was to help rework our map rotation in a better way, not only to prevent some of these back-to-back maps that players used to be encountering, but we also wanted to, anytime we bring in a new map, a returning map, we wanted to make sure players hit that a little bit more frequently in their battles. And months ago, this was a little bit more difficult to achieve, and we did see a lot of community requests asking for, you release Nabelberg or you release a Serene Coast into rotation, but I have yet to see it. We made an active effort to try and increase that frequency so you guys see it much more. That said, with the Flames of War season release, some of our edits may have been a bit aggressive. And yes, the map is appearing fairly often. We do see that in our data. We have an active ticket, and I believe we might be toning down Ruinberg in rotation going live on Tuesday. So it's a thing as we continue to tune and figure out what is the right quantity to see the map in the rotation. Player sentiment is going to be very important to tell us if we are doing it too low or too much. It's a value. It's a value number that we will continue to tune and find that sweet spot.
Awesome. Next question here. What is the algorithm for bots choosing tanks? For example, 2 bots with the M1A1 and 1 bot with the M1A2. And why are premium vehicles off limits to them?
Okay, this one I reached out to our AI engineer to get a little bit more insight from his perspective. And let's divvy this into 2 categories, right? We have our co-op mode and our PvP mode. Both introduce bots and spawn bots and whatever tanks that they choose in different with different rule sets. For our co-op mode, bots will do their best to mirror the player's tank selections. For PvP, random battle, standard battle, etc., multiplayer mode, this is randomly chosen out of a list of bots, of a whole selection of supported tanks. Premiums are certainly not off limits. In co-op, if a player goes in with a premium tank, the bot will select that premium tank as well. But if a player if their selected tank is not currently supported, we do fall back to the bot list format as well in co-op mode. So that being said, sometimes when a player goes into co-op, they have a premium tank. Sometimes we restrict certain bots to use said premium tanks. But in multiplayer, where there are very much enough tech tree tanks to select from in the whole collection, a lot of the bots will default on a tech tree tank versus a premium. But premiums are not off the table. They will still happen.
Excellent. Next question here. Hello, World Tanks console team. Hello.
Hello.
Since the object 292 is in the game, could we see more T80 tanks or even a potential T80 line?
Quote from Plague himself, our lead vehicle designer, you will definitely see a T80 line down the road. When? TBD. News awesome. On that later.
Good news, good news. Next question here. Will Cold War medals be backdated?
No. So when we introduced the Cold War medals, the goal was to introduce new progression, new things for players to earn and work toward and feel that accomplishment. We knew going into it, and we had discussions, if Cold War medals were to retroactively be unlocked, for a good selection of players, some of these might have just auto-unlocked immediately upon release of the Cold War medals. So no, none of them do any sort of backpedaling and look at your stats prior to their release.
Do you plan a tank reforge for the Tier 10 STB1? The siege mode combined with the gun handling may need a little bit of adjustments.
Let's see, Plague, our lead vehicle designer, took a look at this one. There are currently no plans to update the STB1 at this time. With its light armor, good mobility, it's better to be used at a distance with its excellent gun handling and damage per minute.
Next question here. Would we ever consider allowing tanks to be rentals?
We have had this discussion a few times. Super Test, is it Super Test? It might be our CCs. they get the ability to rent tanks as support to take a look at these vehicles, showcase them on their own content channels. And we do think about whether rentals makes sense for the community at large. It's not something we're writing off. What I will say is we are thinking about it in future plans with event battles potentially to allow, let's say we want to run, hey, we just released all these flamethrower tanks, right? What if we ran an event battle that allows everybody to go in with only flamethrower tanks? Just a whole torch fest, right? We understand that not a lot of players will have acquired a flamethrower tank, that being the case that there's so little quantity of those tanks going to be out there at first. So we think about an event battle that might allow for rental capabilities. So players can also participate and be part of the fun of these event battles. The other option that we're also thinking about first is kind of our training missions, our basic and advanced training, to give player a kind of a shooting gallery opportunity to go in with any tank that they own, or maybe a try before you buy like mechanic. Try out a tank and just go into a kind of a non-penalizing environment, firing at tanks from afar, get a feel for its velocity, the penetration, the armor that you have, and just general performance. So those are things that we are thinking about. When will they come? That's also TBD. We got to have a lot more conversations on what makes sense, and juggle that with a lot of our other content plans in the very near future.
Next question here. Will Ghost Town, Pilsen, Paris Map, Redshire have a rework similar to the PC version?
This is another topic. We do have a lot of internal conversations. Our level designer also takes a look at those maps from the WoT PC side and sees about what we can do about maybe bringing them over or just adapting some of those changes. And we know this comes up from time and time again from the community, adopting some of the changes that WoT PC, our colleagues over there, have done. Because we have introduced a better streamlined import process for our WoT PC maps. As you can see with the release of Nabelberg, that was one of our first candidates to receive the treatment of a import directly from WoT PC to World of Tanks Modern Armor. We have the capacity to do something like this now. But again, it becomes a matter of scheduling it in. When does it make sense? But yes, this is something on our minds, and we will think about doing something like that in the future.
Next question here. Is it possible for us to do a Xbox versus PlayStation limited time mode, possibly over a weekend, maybe limited to 7v7 tier 8, just for bragging rights?
I was specifically going to call out Mr. SPG. Like, what are your thoughts on this idea? One, it's something that has to be built into the matchmaker. Our senior server engineer here, Mr. SPG, we're asking to task him on this sort of deal, right? PlayStation versus Xbox. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I know some other titles have done something like this in the past to kind of ignite this console wars idea in a games ecosystem. I'll be honest, I don't personally think this is a great idea because we try our best to bridge the gap of the community and help players come together a little bit more, regardless of what platform you are on, right? We know there's a lot of toxicity out there, and we don't want to kind of encourage that sort of deal. Bragging rights side of the coin, I agree. There's something kind of cool about that. They kind of put it into competition.
But
at the end of the day, what's that?
It's just for bragging rights.
Just for bragging rights. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know if I need to hear players clamoring, Master Race this console versus that console, etc. To answer your question, just very briefly on that, likely not. Very likely not.
Alrighty. Well, our next question here is: with the addition of the Jaguar 1, will there be any additional tech tree lines which feature ATGM only vehicles at some point? Perhaps including things like the Object 775, IT1, or the ELC even SS11.
There will indeed be more ATGM only vehicle lines coming down the road. Yes. More news on that to come.
Awesome.
Stay tuned. Really quick, shout out to Petty. That actually made me laugh. GameCube at Master Race. I appreciate that.
Next question here. Can we get bigger ammo racks, especially for tanks that carry bigger ammo or possibly new explosive mechanics?
I did reach out to our VFX artist on this front, just put something on his mind, and if this is something achievable and worth exploring. The answer to that is yes. We can try to look into that. When? I mean, the conversation is just only starting. We will see about applying some sort of VFX pass. I can't speak to what that kind of workload might look like. That will be up to the art team to kind of determine. But we'll start the conversation. We'll get some investigation ticket and see if there's something that can be accomplished here. And hey, really quick, actually, everything flamethrower wise, I didn't make a distinct call out here. Shout out to our VFX artists here for the awesome flame mechanics that were applied into the game itself. Not only the flames coming out of the tank, but also this extra heavy lifting work of the impact of the flames up against any sort of terrain objects in the environment. That was quite the heavy lift by multiple departments: engineering, audio, design, of course. A lot to kind of achieve the flamethrower effects to look more realistic and meet expectations.
The external fires too, they look pretty cool.
Yes.
All right. Next question here. Is the control mode planned to be an event exclusive once it's finished, or will it be part of normal playlists?
Our initial direction of the control mode was very much to send it off as a limited time event mode. That is the initial goal. But we'll leave it to the community. If there's enough excitement and growth into this mode that warrants the support to put it into normal playlists, we'll surely consider it. There are some things to keep in mind. This mode does include respawn. It would be a very jarring experience going into just multiplayer mode. You're going through your usual standard battle, encounter, team destruction, and then suddenly you're into this different mode with a point system and respawn mechanics. Yes, very fun, very different, but we want to make sure the communication between going from a different one game mode to another is clear, and that the rule sets are very understood from the get-go. So there are other challenges that we need to address before we can say for sure this mode becomes something as part of a normal playlist. Alternatively, we can also think about maybe it is some sort of other permanent mainstay that allows players to engage with this mode in an other capacity. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this over time. Like I said, right now it's strictly event modes. We'll see where we are at maybe a year from now.
Awesome. Let's take a look here. Our next question: can we get an option to remove player names and just have the tank names? I'm more interested in shooting the tank than knowing the person's name.
We can look into that. This comes down to unfortunately a very common answer I give anytime we relate to customizable options to the HUD, right? I think it's a good idea. I have nothing against it if we want to just hide gamer tags via the player's option. We'll talk with the UI team, see if it's possible. As always, UI bandwidth is already set on their current scheduled priorities and responsibilities. This is something much more lower priority, but we'll start the conversation.
All right. Last question here. Can we get a clan list added in-game for the garage to make it easier to invite our friends and allies? Any plans for that?
So we cover a lot of clan questions in previous streams as well. This is very much going to fall in line with the same answer. Next year, we have more focus in mind for clan related features. So yes, this was actually one of the forefront things that we discussed internally, of having some way to see your clan mates online via maybe the social tab or otherwise, and an easier way to interact with them and platoon up, etc. So look forward to more on that next year.
Awesome.
Sorry, one question that jumped out to me. Trigger Legend did the Jamaican flag ever get added into the game by any chance? We did create a ticket. We did see that request come up in a previous stream. UI was working on it. I will need to follow up if that made it into this season. If it's not this season, it's likely next season.
Excellent. Alrighty.
All right, Tankz0rz. I think we got to pick out our two winners here. Who is getting the Spirit of War?
Our two lucky winners for the Spirit of War are USMC Sergeant M16A3. Congratulations, you are our first winner. And our second winner is You Got Razored.
Razored. Fantastic. All right, and you guys are receiving yourselves the very first Spirit of War coming to World of Tanks Modern Armor next week.
Yep, those will be added to your garage auto-magically. You don't have to do anything, they'll just appear. I think that about wraps it up for us today here, right, Mr. Bam?
We covered a lot here today. We absolutely did. Yeah, look forward to all things Sabaton. Stay metal, and let the flames ignite next week.
All right, everyone. You have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. And see you on the battlefield.
See you on the battlefield.
Take care, everyone.